can I adapt to something without accepting it, or accept something without really adapting to the whole thing? And does that make me a bad leader? Does that make me wrong to society because I don't want to change in that way? Am I a pushover if I adapt to
Say what you feel for say. Come here, say what me feel for say. Say what you feel for say.
Hey guys, welcome back to KeneishaSays. So today I really want to talk to you guys about being adaptable to society, to workplace, just adaptability in general. And how different is that being adaptable versus being acceptable? Like, can you adapt to something without accepting? Or can you accept a situation without actually adapting to it? Is there a difference? Does it make it wrong? So the definition of acceptable is when you're able to agree or something is suitable. You're able to tolerate or allow something to happen. Where adaptable is basically able to adjust to new conditions, able to be modified or new for a new use or for purpose. Like a couple weeks ago, I actually had a management kind of leadership program thing going on, and the topic was about being adaptable in the workplace and making you into a better leader. It's about how much capacity do you really have to just take on anything that is thrown at you, adapting to different situations, changing your whole fixed mindset towards everything, and just basically going with the flow. It had me thinking, can I adapt to something without accepting it, or accept something without really adapting to the whole thing? And does that make me a bad leader? Does that make me wrong to society because I don't want to change in that way? Am I a pushover if I adapt to everything? So I want to get your take on that. For me, this is what I'm thinking. If, for example, like with COVID going on, and that was something that we had to adapt to. I don't think we accepted everything there. We had to adapt to the changes. We had to adapt to wearing masks. We had to adapt to keeping ourselves to ourselves, not hugging. I think everybody adapted to the situation. Did we accept it 100%? I don't think we did, because we were fighting it. We had people that were actually fighting against wearing the mask. We had people that were actually fighting around getting the vaccine. But majority of them actually came around doing it regardless, because of what the situation, how the situation was, and what we think would be the best thing to do based on the information that was given to us. So we adapted, but not necessarily accepted. Does that make sense? If you're in the workplace and for every single thing that is happening, there are always new things, there are always changes, and you're just going around adapting to everything and just doing whatever comes. So new technology comes, we have to work with it. But if there's a new process in place, you necessarily don't have any say on it. You have to adapt to the changes. But do you necessarily, again, accept it? You just go with the flow, not necessarily agreeing with it, but you adapt to it because that's what you have to do your job, right? Does that make you less of a person that actually adapts and accepts these changes without questioning it? I don't think you necessarily have to adapt to everything, and that it changes the type of person that you are, or it reduces your capability of being a good leader or a good person in the social life, right? I really don't think that because you question something before you actually go with it defines who you are. To be honest, I feel like you're a little bit of a pushover if everything that comes your way, you just accept it or adapt to it without questioning it. There are certain things that I feel like you have to question to understand why in the first place. Why is it that we're doing this? How do we benefit from this? How is it different from what we were doing before? Eventually, yes, maybe we accept and we adapt to it. maybe we just adapt but not accept it, but it's something that we just have to do. But I feel like we have to question things. I feel like not everything that comes our way in terms of changes is necessarily right. And I don't feel like it makes you a bad person because you question it. It doesn't mean that you're not going to adapt to it eventually. But because you question it make you a bad person. I really don't think that. So that's basically, so you adapt to changes and you can accept those changes. But you can also adapt to the change without accepting it. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from right there. So I guess at the end of the day is, look, can you really look at it? At some point, somebody was not adapting to everything, because that is why we continue to grow. That's why we continue to have new processes in place, because somebody was always questioning, why is it that we're doing it this way? Why not try it this way? And then somebody has to adapt with that new process. There goes the question again, why not try it this way? In order for us to basically evolve. But again, I feel like we kind of put ourselves in this box to feel like everything that comes our way, we have to adapt to it. We have to accept it. We have to work with the changes. We have to go with the flow. And the minute that we ask a question, we're like, you know, that bad apple that's now trying to spoil the whole bunch, because how dare you ask questions? Why not working with the flow? And why are you now interrupting the whole process? You're not willing to change. You're not willing to adapt. All we're doing is just asking a question. It doesn't mean that eventually we're not going to allow it to happen, or we're not going to adapt or accept it. But at the same time, I still don't think that even at the end of the day, if I don't accept or adapt to it, it makes me a bad person. It doesn't diminish or define me as a leader or as a person. So I feel like we need to stop putting ourselves in this box. And I'm not saying we should go around and just defy the processes that come in place. I'm not saying that for everything that your workplace put in place, you're just be like, oh no, we're not going to do that. Because then that goes back in having a fixed mindset. That goes back in just trying to be defiant towards everything and just being difficult. And I'm not seeing that. I'm not saying that every time society pushes something on us, we need to be blasting it or just having an uproar for unnecessary things. Like that's not where I'm going with this. I'm just saying that it's okay to ask questions, and it's okay to not accept or adapt to everything immediately, right? And that's how we grow. That's how we eventually find ourselves. That's how we eventually, you know, we make mistakes, and sometimes we have to make mistakes in order to find out, you know, what was the right thing in the first place. But your ability to adapt, or to have that capacity to accept everything that flows, or everything that actually comes your way, and all the changes and everything that comes your way, whether it be in your social life, whether it be in your working environment or your career path, whether it be, you know, just in general. I feel like it's a natural thing for human beings to ask questions, not necessarily being defiant, as I said before, but in order to understand, because that's how our mind works. That's how, you know, that's how we were developed, to question, to try new things, you know, in order for us to actually grow. I really want you guys to leave a comment. Drop your comment, like and share this video, but drop your comment as to what you think about, you know, adaptability versus being acceptable to everything. Let me know if you think that there's a difference. If you think they're basically the same thing. Do you feel like it's wrong to adapt but not accept, or vice versa? Or do you feel like it is something that you have to adapt and accept everything that comes your way? Does it make you a pushover if you do accept or adapt to everything that comes your way? And does it make you a defiant person if you don't? Does it affect you in any way, shape, or form? You know, let me know. I really want to get your comment on this. So drop your comment. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe at the same time. But I'm going to leave you with a KeneishaSays quote today. And I feel like it's everything that I have already said in this video, but I'm going to leave you saying this. So Keneisha says today, I personally feel that it's okay to not accept everything that comes your way. It's okay to ask questions. If you have issue with something that is new, do not fight it, but try to understand it before you decide not to adapt to it or accept it. And then based on your understanding, then you go from there. All right? But do not have anybody force things down or force their belief or new things or new process down your throat without you understanding and seeing how at the end of the day it benefits you, it benefits the situation, or making it better or negative, you know? So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe as I said before. And until later.
Come here, say when me feel for say. Say what you feel for say.